Hey guys, this is Christopher Dittemore, and I thought it would be really cool to go ahead and put together this video. I've been in communication with a group called Kingdom Driven Entrepreneurs, and together we came up with some powerful questions to really accelerate your business. And I just wanted to go over those and also add some commentary on why they're so important, and especially on how you can utilize them in this upcoming year, so that way you can really accelerate your business. So the first one is specificity. The first question you want to ask yourself is, what audience are you called to serve? You want to visualize them, give them a name. It's called an avatar, and not like the little blue tall people either. It's an avatar is basically, this is the person that I'm called to serve. It's who you visualize in all your marketing messages. There's a saying that if you market to everyone, you market to nobody. So you really want to be able to connect with the problems, the obstacles, the desires of your specific target market. Because once you have that information down, then that way you know exactly who you're serving, exactly can you help them. So uh, one little trick to doing this is just imagine them as your next door neighbor. And the scripture tells us to make sure that we love our neighbors. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of our neighbors. So Jesus told us to do it. So just imagine the market that you're serving as your neighbor, or maybe even like a grandma or a father or a brother or a sister, depending on who exactly it is you're called to serve. And that's really going to give you that passion to really be able to help them. And just as a side note, passion breeds brilliance. So obviously it doesn't breed the ability to spell, because that should be breeds, but it breeds brilliance, which means whatever you're passionate about, you're consumed by, you think about a lot. And so if you really work with people that you're passionate about, or in industries and topics and niches that you're very passionate about, you're really going to have a brilliance to it. And by being specific about your passion, you're going to create momentum, because focus will actually create some type of momentum in your life where you know exactly what you need to do every single day, and you just keep moving forward day by day. And momentum itself is what will ultimately cause your results. So it's very, very important to be specific in everything that you're doing, and to start with, what audience are you called to serve? So the second question is hunger, or the aspect is hunger. So what big need do they have that you want to solve? The best thing. So let's pretend that you have a hamburger restaurant, all right? And I say, you know what, you can have anything you want, anything you want. What would you pick, right? So some people would say, well, I want the best system, right? Borrowing from the McDonald's books, the Golden Arches themselves. They don't have the best hamburger, but the best system, and that's worked out pretty well for them. Or some people might say, well, um, I just want to have the best hamburgers. Okay. And so they say, well, if I have the best hamburger, then obviously I'm going to do really, really well. And but I would say, if I have a hamburger restaurant, if I could have anything, I would want a starving audience, a starving crowd of people who are meat eaters, not vegetarians, obviously, but who are meat eaters, who absolutely love hamburgers, and they always order the supersize. But seriously, though, you want to make sure that you have an audience of very, very hungry people for what it is that you're giving them. So once you have the specificity of who you're helping, you want to say, okay, what are they most hungry for? And then you just help them. You just help them with that. So now here's a couple side notes. Number one, you want to give them what they want. Sell the sizzle, and not the steak, as they say. But we do want to actually provide value in their life, not only for moral reasons and ethical reasons, and because we love our neighbor, but also because we know that if we provide for them from on the business side, then they're going to go ahead and provide for us. They're going to stay with us. They're going to tell people about us, and that's ultimately how you have a very, very powerful business. Now, here's something I wanted to go over really quickly. Get them under oath. So oath, the O stands for oblivious. Okay, so a lot of your audience is going to be absolutely oblivious to what it is that they need. Okay, the A is going to be apathetic, and those people, they know what they need, but they just don't care. Those types of people, you need to really kind of explain to them why they should care. What are the things that are really affecting them right now in their life that they probably don't like. They probably don't really see that as a as being a big deal. So you increase the implication. Um, there's a book on this called uh, who's that by? I don't remember the name of the book now, but it's about questions and it's spin selling. It's called Spin Selling by Neil Rackham. It's a very very good book. And one of the things that they noticed in tons and tons of sales call research, they noticed that the questions were the solution to increasing the conversion on their sales. So the better the questions, the better the answers. And they found that really getting into the implication of why people should care about what you have to offer. For instance, say you're selling tennis shoes, okay? And you say, well, if you're just selling tennis shoes, on the surface it doesn't seem like a big deal, but once you really start getting in there and you actually start solving problems, then you actually go into why they should care about the problems that you solve, and that ultimately will solve this apathetic. So if you're selling tennis shoes, you say, let's say Tom's. So did you know that right now Nike has people out in China and little kids working on your shoes, and you don't really want that. You actually want to help people, right? And so what Tom's will do is every shoe that you buy, then that'll affect the world, and that will help the world. And that marketing message has sold millions and millions of dollars worth of shoes. So that's just kind of a quick example. Now the T is thinking. So these are the people that know they have a problem. They know they want to have it solved, and they're thinking about it, but they don't know what solution is the right one for them. So those types of people, you really want to focus on your proof. You want to focus on your logical evidence, your conclusions, so on and so forth. And the H is hurting. So those people know they have a problem, and they're hurting. So they come into the category of they actually really desperately want what it is that you have. You don't have to put them through this process of taking them from oblivious and then using a process to get them down to hurting, so that they say, wow, this has been hurting me in my life and I've been ignoring it and I really want you to have. These people are already there at that process. And just as a quick side note, uh, one of the fastest ways that you can increase your conversions in anything you're selling is by widening the gap. And widening the gap is basically saying this is where you're at and this is where you want to be. And the more that you can really define and widen that gap and really crystallize it and make it apparent to them, the more that they're truly going to want what you have, because they're going to start hurting and they're going to realize that this is something that they really want to take care of, and you're the right person to do it. Now, the third thing is reach. Okay, so where can you find them? Where do they hang out? Can you reach them? Okay, so the traffic secret sauce. I'm going to start moving a little quicker because I'm getting long-winded, and I know that we want to get through this. So I'm going to try to just blast through a couple of these really quickly, but at the same time give you some really awesome stuff. So traffic secret sauce. So one of the most powerful things you can ask when it comes to traffic is, where does my audience hang out? Once you have the first part, which is the audience, and you know why they're hungry, you know they have hunger, you know they desperately want and they need what you have, right? So now the traffic secret sauce is, okay, so where do they hang out and how can I get in front of them? Okay. Now, when you get in front of these audience, what you're going to use is called a hook. Okay. Yeah, I know it's just like a fishing methodology, right? They're sitting out there, they're fishing around, and you're throwing out a hook, but you just don't want to throw out a hook. You want to have a bait, and the bait is basically, what is it? Where are they at right now? What is the number one thing that they're thinking about? Okay, you have this thing called the RAS, and the RAS is a reticular activating system, and you can see that when you buy, let's say you buy a green Beetle, and before you know it, everybody on the road's driving green Beetles, because you can see your mind says, oh wow, everybody's driving one because it's on your reticular activating system. It's kind of like the Jeep Club. Everybody on a Jeep is always waving to each other. Or you're wearing a red sweater and you see everybody that wears red sweaters. So your reticular activating system is what you're currently thinking about. What is your mind currently processing on a higher conscious level? And so when they're looking around, they're seeing that and they're saying, wow, this is something that's important, and then it'll get their attention. So you want to think, okay, so what is my perfect audience reticular activating system thinking about? What are they staying awake at night thinking about, dreaming about? How can I help them? and then you just get in front of them by helping them, and that's how you provide value. So that's traffic secret sauce. Reach versus relevancy. So first thing you want to do when it comes to this, because a lot of people have a problem with this, reach versus relevancy is basically saying, okay, I can reach millions of those people, and I can reach 1,000 of these people. Do I go for the millions or go for the thousands? You want to go for the most targeted people that you can at first, because once you know exactly who's coming in through your process, and so then that way you're not tweaking and optimizing your process for a bunch of people that aren't your perfect audience. So you get your perfect audience in there, then you tweak and optimize. Once you've got your metrics down pat, you got them stoned, you got them written down, they're chiseled in stone. You know exactly who's worth what and what's happening with those types of people. Then you start going into the relevancy. You start widening your gap, because then you say, okay, this is how many of my perfect target audience is inside this gap, this huge pool, and then that is just a far more effective way, far more certain way to really be able to raise conversions. So, and the fourth thing I want to share with you is collect them, profile them, and help them. So what you're doing is you're basically saying, this is my perfect audience. I am going to give them the reticular activating system, the hook that they want. I'm going to put them through a process. This is where opt-in page comes into effect. You've probably seen it. It's the name and email. If you're at all on any of my lists, you've obviously went through one, so you've seen one on my end. But to collect them and profile them, basically what you're doing is you're saying, give me your name and your email, or even just email if you want to do it that way. It'll raise you a little bit. It'll give you a small bump. But you get their name and their email, and then you start asking them, you know, what's your biggest issue, what's going on. You start tracking what they're opening, what they're clicking on, and you start to profile your audience. And what you're looking for is, how can I help them? You see, the person that knows the market the best will ultimately win. And so that's why we use testing and so on. Is not so we can necessarily just raise the how much money we make and test if it's a blue font versus a red font, but we want to really get to know our customer, and we use split testing to be able to do that. So we figure out where they hang out, we give them a hook, they jump on the hook, we get them on a list, we ask them a bunch of questions to get to know them better, and then we ultimately help them. So fourth thing, proof. So why should they trust you and buy from you versus someone else? And I would go on to say, why should they buy from you versus anything doing nothing at all? If you're in the e-commerce business, then you might think that you know your competitor is everybody, but basically, really, your competitor is doing nothing at all. A lot of times, that is ultimately who your true competitor is why should I do it right now? And why should I trust you? Why should I believe you? And if you're in the e-commerce business, Amazon is actually your real competitor. Why should I buy from you versus Amazon? That is an amazing question to ask and to answer. So, conversion dynamite. You want to get your proof through the roof. So, in every single testing and every single thing that you're doing along this sequence here, you want to make sure that your proof is continually being expounded. It will always raise your conversions. Anything that you're doing, if you look at it and you say, how can I raise my conversions? How can I make more money? How can I help more people? It is always this question, how can I raise my proof? How can I get my proof through the roof? In fact, I actually go over this in extensive detail, different credibility factors, proof factors, things you can do, so on and so forth. I'm going to go over some of those now. So there's 3 levels of proof. The first one is you. So why should I trust you? What have you done? What is in your life? What is the background? Who has endorsed you? Celebrity endorsements, those types of things. Why should I trust you? Why should I care what you have to say? That is the first level, and a lot of people stop there, but there's far more to go. The second one is them. So this is the proof that they can do it. Okay. So this is basically saying, not only should you trust me because I've done it, but here's why you can do it. And this is really, really ninja stuff. So this is why you can do what I'm sharing. This is what I've created. This is what I've done so that now you can do it. This is why it's simpler, easier, faster, better, so on and so forth. And this is why you can do it. And then you give them the logical, or you demonstrate. You go on, you go through that process so that they can actually visualize it and see this is why they can do it. Now the third level, and this is where the real conversion power is at, is to say why anyone can do it. So, for instance, you've probably seen on infomercials like This guy was living on the street, and he found my book in in the sewer, and he started reading it, and it made him uh, uh, real estate entrepreneur overnight. And now he's just a maniac, and now he's making millions and millions of dollars. And if this guy who was living on the street who found my book and didn't have me to helping him, if he can do it, then how much more can you do it, right? And so this creates this third level of proof that, wow, if that guy can do it, I can definitely do it. So this creates your marketing plan. Basically, what I say is, okay, what's the number one level? What is the biggest thing that I could really prove my business to, or my results to, for my prospect? So if I have my prospect here, and what is the perfect thing that I can say to this guy, right? So, for instance, oh, well, I've been in Forbes. I am a best-selling author. I've helped 100,000 people be able to, to do this, this, and this, which is exactly what you're doing. And I've gone ahead and I've created a system that implements every single step. And I've created software so that way you don't have to do anything, but you can sit on the couch and you can watch TV while this thing's doing this thing. And you just really sit down and say, what is the most airtight proof plan that I could really create for this person that they would be like, oh my goodness, you are amazing. I want to give you my money. And once you have that in place, now you have your marketing plan. You know exactly what you need to do, because every single thing that you're doing now will always be raising your conversions. Okay? Fifth one, communicate. So, do you have ways to confide in them and have them confide in you to build trust? So, this is really powerful. This is a really powerful question that was raised in the Kingdom Driven Entrepreneurs group, and this is really awesome. So, what you're doing here is you're really just kind of connecting with your people. You're saying, you know what, I'm like you, I know you. We're the same, or at least we're very, very similar, and you can trust me. You know me. And one of the things I've learned is what you're going to use at the top, you're always going to learn at the bottom. If you look at some of the most successful entrepreneurs and some of the biggest breakthroughs they've ever had, they've gone around to all the people, all the workers, and so on, and they've really just kind of hit the feet to the pavement, so to speak, hit the feet on the street to determine what's going on behind the scenes. And it's the things behind the scenes that are ultimately going to want to use, so that way you can really be able to create impact at the top. So one of those things is just really getting out there and talking to your prospects. So I'm going to share this with you, and I wasn't going to share it with you originally, but I decided just right now. So there is this thing called the Pareto principle, and the Pareto principle is basically the 80-20. The 80-20 is 80% of what you do is going to create 20% of your results. Now, for a lot of people, that's very, very bad news. But if you use that information and you say, okay, so if 80% of what I do only creates 20% of my results, then 20% of what I do creates 80% of my results. And so you flip the script and you say, okay, I'm going to focus only on the 20% to get the 80%. Now, the cool thing about this principle is that it's universal and it applies to so many different things. In fact, in a lot of areas, it's actually 95-5. But let's just say it's just 80-20. So you have something called the Pareto prospect. Your Pareto prospect is the prospect that is 20% of your audience, and they buy 80% of what it is that you sell. Once you've identified who your Pareto prospect is, then that becomes the person that you want to market to. And the way you do that is you communicate. You just get to know them. You say, Mr. Prospect, you have bought more stuff than anybody else in my entire business, and I would just like to know why. Why did you buy from me versus anyone else, versus do anything at all? What were the emotional triggers that really set you using me? And what have I done to really earn your business? And how can I do it better so that you would refer people to me that are just like you? That's a huge, huge tip. All right. So transparency is critical. So the more transparent you are, the more people know you. And the more people know you, the more people like you. So there's this thing called ARC, and it's basically affinity, reality, and communication. It's like this triangle. So the more that we have affinity together, the more that we share reality, that's what affinity is. The more that we have affinity, then and the more we have reality, then the more that we'll have communication. So this ARC is affinity on one end, there's reality on the top, and there's communication. So if we want to raise affinity, which is the degree of likingness between each other, we're going to raise the reality that we share, and we're going to raise the communication. If we want to raise communication, we raise the affinity, we raise the reality, and that means we're going to communicate better. So by communicating reality to your audience and your prospects, you are going to share, you're going to raise affinity with each other. So by you talking about what's going on in their day and your day and those things coming together, and you just really just sharing from your heart, they're gonna get to know you. And as they get to know you, they're gonna say, man, this guy's genuine. I can trust him. I believe in him. I like him. And so then we kind of go across this whole quadrant. So for instance, you see here, know, like, trust, try, buy, multiply. So really quickly, once they know you, then they're going to like you. Once they like you, they're going to trust you, and then they'll try what it is that you have. So you use this. This is an amazing pattern, okay? And I know I'm not a I'm not a top-notch speaker. I'm just doing this just to provide some value. So, just bear with me there. But really, it's know, like, trust, try. So once they know you, they like what you have, they trust you, and then you put that out there for them, and so let's just say you're going to try it. So, you know what? I really believe that I can help you because of this, this, and this, and I know that you're going through these problems, this, and this, and I want to help you, but I understand that, maybe you just need to give it a shot, try it out. So what I want to do is I want to give you 7 days to try my solution, and if you love it, then you can keep it and I'll bill you. But if you don't, no problem. Just go ahead and just give it back to me, right? And no harm, no foul, right? And so they're going to try your solution. I mean, this is just so powerful when you start thinking like this. So for instance, maybe someone's going to try your solution by watching your video. Maybe a video on 8 big things that they can accelerate their business. Oh, right? But, just by them trying you out, they're trying you out through the content. They're trying you out through the just the little things that you're giving them by opening your emails. They're trying you out. And the more that you're helping them and providing value, and they're getting to know you through this process, this is where a lot of affiliate people who just sell other people's stuff, where they make mistakes, is they just sitting there and they're just hitting other people's stuff. So they're getting to know other people, but not them. And before they know it, the trust is gone, and then they're no longer trying. So once they're trying, then they're buying. You want them to multiply. Multiplication comes from you finding out how you can help them more after they've gone through your product. This is huge. Very, very few people do this. But after they've gone through your product, you want to say, what were your biggest results? What was your biggest obstacles? And then you create more solutions for those obstacles, so that way they're going to have more success. And what's going to happen is, as you're helping the people on the back, you're increasing the conversion of the people on the front. Okay, so let's move on. So the sixth thing is delivery, okay? So delivery is basically, how are you delivering the value? How are you delivering your product? How are you delivering what it is that you're selling? So we kind of went into the multiply, but let's just expand real quick. So the sixth thing is, what product do you have to sell that will solve their biggest need, okay? So what product do you have, or what can you create? Okay, now creating products is so easy. I created this one here, very, very quickly. I could actually sell this, but I'm giving it to you. But I could actually sell this if I chose to, and maybe one day I will. So if you bought this, then just know that I created this for free, but you're paying for it. But I guarantee you it's going to be well worth it. Now, so can you make it bigger, better, faster, and stronger? Okay, so these are the questions. So people don't really care as much of what you're selling. They care about what's called transformative value. Transformative value is basically like, this is where you're at, this is where you want to be. Here's how I can help you to get there. Here's the proof that I have. Now I'm going to let you try it. You're gonna give it a shot, and I'm going to make sure along the way that you actually get to the end result. So which one of your products are best going to help them? Okay, so you always want to plan happy customers before you get any. So I'm going to actually plan out. I'm going to say, okay, so 90 days after they buy my product, I'm going to send them a survey. I'm going to contact them. I'm going to give them an unadvertised bonus. And it's basically starting after they buy and saying, what do I have to engineer or structure so that when they're finished, they just basically freak out because they just said, wow, that was the best purchase I've ever purchased. It's the best buy I've ever made. I can't wait to tell other people about it. I'm so happy with my results. I'm so happy that I have achieved what it is that I'm looking for. Um, and just basically just structure that out so they're just super stoked. For instance, I drive, traffic for businesses that have amazing offers or have amazing, let's just say, purpose, and I can help them create it along the way. But mostly what I'm looking for is people who have successful converting businesses, and understand marketing is an investment, not an expense, and I'll work with them. But what I'm looking for is, what do I need to structure so that this person, after using me, basically is just freaking out. It's that whole under promise and over deliver. So if I promise that they're going to make 2 times their money or whatever, or at least I can see a way that they're going to make two times their money, then I'm going to try to actually make it 3 times. So that way, when they're done, they're saying, "Man, not only did this guy provide value, not only did this guy Christopher Dittemore make it happen and make it rain traffic and make me the money that he said he was going to make, but he actually did even more." I'm actually going to build that into my system so that at the end, not only are they happy, but they're also telling people about me. So, see, because more results on the back will create more conversions on the front. The happier my customers are after going through my products and services, the better testimonials, the better marketing story, the better my conversions on the front will always, always be. Better word of mouth, better virality, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's why one of the most powerful things, and I was going to show this, but I'm going to real quick, is to focus on your value proposition. In every business, one of the number one things I can do for a business is look at their value proposition. Why should I buy for you versus anyone else versus nothing at all? And answering that question and creating something so amazing that it becomes wow. Just creates so much momentum, not only on the business owner side because he really believes in what he's doing, but also on the prospect side. So really, really powerful stuff. So make sure you're over delivering. Now, expand your market through referrals, making your marketing dollars count. So really quickly, if every person you bring into your system refers one person, what you've done is you've just doubled the results. Now, instead of making $100, let's say, per prospect, now you're making $200. Well, check this out. If one person refers one person, so you're making $200, but then that person is referring one person, what you're doing is you're making your marketing dollars expand and synergize so much because everybody's referring people. So that one person, let's say you have a Pareto referral partner. This is the person that uh, refers 80% of your people, okay, and he's only 20% of all your prospects. So you say, okay, I'm going to focus on my Pareto referral guy. This is the guy that's getting the most value out of my business, so he's referring the most people. He's in the highest center of influence in my industry or the people that I serve, and so he refers the most people. So I'm going to focus on him. Okay, so I'm going to focus on him. Back to specificity. Okay, and this is what he's most hungry for, and this is how I can reach him. Okay, you guys seeing this? It's so powerful. And so this is how I can reach him. And now I'm going to communicate with him. I'm going to create this know, like, try, buy system with him, right? And then he's going to multiply by referring more and more people to me. And then they're going to refer more people. So your Pareto people are going to refer more Pareto people, and so on and so forth. Now, before you know it, your marketing dollars are through the roof. And that brings us to number 7, maximize. Maximize is, okay, so how can I help them even more? I'm going to give you a process to doing this. You're going to love it. It's going to be amazing. It's going to change your life if you do it. So can you think of a second product, a third product to sell the same audience? How about residual income product? So, okay, so what we're looking for is, well, what can I sell more of to this person? So one of the big questions is, and this is from Jay Abraham, he talks about this thing called preeminence. Preeminence is basically saying, you are not my customer, you are my client. And a client means I have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that I'm providing the most value that I can, and I am not selling you anything less than you absolutely need, right? So in order to create this preeminence position is you want to do this thing called before, during, and after. So where is your prospect before they buy your product? Where is your prospect during this process of going through your product and going through the scenario, and where are they after? So, for instance, say I'm selling shoes again. So, where are they at before it? Well, before they realize that they need shoes, let's say sporting shoes, maybe they are just getting involved in running, right? And so, because of this, they need this. They want to start working out and getting healthier. Okay, so this is where they're at before it, and then they say, "Man, you know what? I need to get me some good shoes." So what you're doing is you're saying, okay, so before they find my product, they're learning running. So I'm going to go ahead and create a training product, or I'm going to go ahead and do what's called a joint venture with somebody who absolutely um, has what I'm looking for. So maybe they already have a training product, they have the results of their training product, and it's things that you can leverage. So saying, okay, I'm going to go find someone just like that, and or I'm going to create that. And now all of a sudden, now you're selling all these training, hey, it's awesome to run. You should run. It's amazing. This is how you can do it. And then inside this process, you're saying, by the way, we also sell shoes. And just because you bought my training product, I want to go ahead and give you this amazing discount, this gift card on shoes. Oh, here's a real big tidbit, and I'm just going to throw it in real quick 'cause you're going to absolutely love it. Don't use coupons. Use gift cards, because coupons make you say, oh, I have to spend money to make money. Whereas gift cards, oh, I have to go spend this money or I'm going to lose it. Huge difference. Okay, so you give them you give them some gift cards after they buy your before product. Now they're in their during phase. They're buying your shoes, and oh, by the way, after you're buying your shoes, this is the during phase. Maybe you should get some new shoelaces, or these shoelaces are amazing shoelaces that will keep your feet into the proper support, so that way you're not hurting yourself. Right now, I'm building that implication that we were talking about earlier, but you're not hurting yourself. Your spine isn't coming out of alignment. And also, while you're wearing these shoes, you should try these socks, because one thing you don't want is calluses and blisters, because that's going to hurt you, and then you're not going to want to run at all. So we're going to go ahead and sell you these special socks that really form fit, and we're going to head and actually, you know what? Let's just take one of those. After you buy our new socks, we're going to sell you some fitted socks that are actually specially designed for your feet to give you maximum running potential. Okay, so there's the before and the during. And the after, okay, so what are they doing after? So after they have used our shoes and they're running a lot, what else do they need? Well, maybe they need a water bottle. Maybe they need a place to run. Maybe they need a book on how to have the maximum enjoyment. Maybe they need a book on how to be able, or training on how to be able to bring people like friends and family into it, because they want to spread this running thing. Maybe they want to go compete in a marathon, right? And so what's happening is you're maximizing each prospect's potential. So remember that we only got one prospect in at the before stage, but we've now sold them 6, 7, 8 things. And here's the amazing thing, is that the person that makes the most money per prospect is going to dominate, because they can afford more in marketing. So one of the things that I do when I work with somebody is I say, okay, how can we dominate your industry? And once we've dominated, we've created this value proposition that's amazing. We've created all this proof, and we've created these upsells, cross sells, down sells, side sells, upsell, and we've done all these things. Now, for every marketing dollar you're spending, you're making 10 times the value on it, and nobody, absolutely nobody, can compete with you. So that's why one of the most powerful things you can do is not only raise your conversions, but to raise the amount of money you make per prospect, because you can afford to spend more money on prospects than your competition, and they cannot touch you. Plus, you're adding more value from a preeminence position. Okay, so upsell, cross sell, downsell. So upsell is basically saying, you came in my funnel. Here's something that you should. This will make it better, faster, stronger, simpler, right? Cross sell. Basically, what you're doing there is you're saying, here's another product that I have that I think really love. Other people like you have bought it. Maybe you've seen that from Amazon. Works really well. Downsell, say, okay, well, maybe you didn't want the upsell because it was too much money, so why don't I give you a smaller version of it? You can give it a shot, try it out. If you don't like it, no problem, but I think it's really going to change your life, so I'm going to give it to you for this reduced capacity for a reduced price. Side sell is, let's just say this is somebody who's in a similar market, and they have something that you're going to really love, and I kind of know them personally, or I've tried their product, or I have a relationship with them, so on and so forth. Give it a shot. Upside down sell is basically saying, okay, why don't you go ahead and have it, and if you can actually have it for free. All I ask in return is that you either refer people to me or you pay me in 7 days, so on and so forth. Over the bridge sell is, okay, I know you don't know me, but I want to create some trust with you, so I'm going to go ahead and give this to you for free. And that's just going to get them over this bridge, so that then 15, 30 days later, then you hit them, with something that's going to provide even more value. Because remember, from a preeminence position, we want to provide the most value possible, because we want to make sure that we're helping them get to where they're called, to where to whatever they need. And so this over the bridge sale is getting them over that trust hump, so that way they can now buy your bigger ticket stuff. All right, so sustainability. This is can your target audience afford to pay you fair market rates so you can sustain a profitable business and bless others with it? Remember, you're not helping anyone if you're broke, and you're not helping broke people by devaluing yourself. So there's this thing. I mean, it's like, okay, so if people don't have any money, it's okay. There's different dealerships out there. So you have the Yugos and you have the Fiestas and you have the Tempo, right? And that's for people who are looking for, just lower quality stuff. And that's cool. In my opinion, that's informational products. Now, as they grow, right, now they start getting into, let's say, into the Ferrari and the Lamborghini and the Bentley and the Aston Martin stages. Now they're actually working with you in a done for you basis consultant stages. So let me just real quickly lay this out. I wasn't going to share this, but I will fast. So there's done. Watch me do it. Okay, so there's this scenario basically is like watch me do it, which is your informational product, right? Or I'm going to show you how to do it. Then the second stage is do it with me, which is where we kind of work together, and you ask me some questions along the way and I help you through it. And then the third stage is just do it for me. So one of the analogies I like to use here is basically, let's say we're going to go on a little trip to the Amazon. So first thing I'm going to do, let's say I want to take a trip to the Amazon, and you want to know the reason why they want to take the trip to the Amazon. So remember, we're getting specific. So I want to take a trip to the Amazon because I'm in my middle ages here, and I'm going through a midlife crisis, and I feel like I really want to do something that's amazing. It's been on my bucket list for 10 years, and so I really want to go out to the Amazon, and I want to tackle some alligators or some crocodiles or whatever they have in the Amazon, and I want to have my friends with me taking pictures while I shoot lions. So basically, you're understanding exactly what they're looking for, what they want from the process, and now I'm gonna now I'm going to show them how to do it. So I create this manual that basically says this is the best places you want to go. This is how you get the cheapest rates. This is the type of gun you want to buy. Make sure you don't buy this gun because the Amazon weather is going to make sure that the bullets don't work as well. And so I'm giving them all the best understanding that I've gained through the process. Then do it with me would basically be, okay, I'm actually going to take you on with me. So we're going to do a little tour together. So I'm going to take you with me. That way I'll be there. Or I'm going to give you my phone number and you can call me from the Amazon, or and you're doing it with me in that process. And then doing it for me would be just to pick me up, fly me out, buy me everything I need, take me on a tour, be behind me in case I miss my shot with a lion, and you're actually doing everything for me step by step. So if you think of your target prospect with the first question, what's the specificity, their biggest hunger, what do they want, how can you help them get it, and then where can they find it? And you go through this process, and you actually start thinking about it like that. You say, okay, I can do it. Either I can show them how to do it, I can do it, they can do it with me, or they can do it with me. So just remember, people will still believe what they pay for, and so do you. So if you devalue yourself too much, you're actually not going to want to help them because you're going to realize that your time is worth more money, and it's just going to be hard for you to actually be able to fulfill for that client because you have other clients that are going to pay you more. So just don't do it. Charge what you're worth, and then keep providing proof and reasons why they should care. So here's the final words of this quick little, just something that I think is really going to bless you. Go forth and prosper. The more successful you are, the more that you're helping the economy, because the more that you're buying things and you're helping people, and people will see how successful you are, they'll believe that they can do it, and you're just really going to be able to provide a lot. Just remember, if you're going to give out of a garden, you got to make sure that you have lots of fruit in that garden to be able to give. When your garden is got no fruit, you're not going to be able to give anything. And so just make sure that you're going out there and just prospering. Use the Big 8 to create some clarity in everything that you're doing. Use accountability to create some momentum. Connect with somebody. Tell them what you want to do. Tell them why you want to do it. And then, give them permission to kick your butt along the way. And here's something I like to say. Every single day, you are creating a stepping stone to the legacy of your life. And that legacy can be such that you create a legacy for generations to come. So if you start with that end in mind, with people that you can provide for, your kids' kids, the Bible tells us that we should have inheritance for our kids and then their kids. And I believe it's very important. Christians and believers have not had this inheritance in their life. And we need to we're actually the God is really bringing us back into this family aspect, so that way we can start to really receive inheritance. So it's not about what I'm doing on my own strength and my own effort anymore, but I'm receiving what's on your life, my family's life, my parents' life, and I'm taking that and I'm running with it. And so the more the inheritance we can have, the faster momentum we will be able to create in the world. And just remember, Jesus is with you. He didn't just die so you could get to heaven. He died so that he could be with you. And he is with you right now. And that's amazing news because he loves you so much. And his love is what transforms us. Remember, it's the goodness and kindness of God that causes us to repent or to renew our minds into who God has created us to be. It's the goodness and kindness of God that makes us realize how amazing he is. So it's not just about, I have to go do these things. It gets to be about, I get to do these things. I get to read my Bible and hang out with the creator of the world as he whispers secrets and mysteries and just relationship into my ear. I get to praise and worship him, and his presence falls on me, and I get to just hang out with him, and it's amazing. I get to go to church and hang out with my family and love on them as they love on me, and just receive everything from them as I release it into the world. And I get to do all these things, but we get away from this I have to, which is focusing on the external, and we get back into the internal, which is the power of Christ that's transformed our heart. And he absolutely, desperately loves you so much that he died for you just so that he could, now that he could live with you. So you're not waiting to get to heaven. Heaven is actually here now. Remember, Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you because the king of heaven lives inside of you. So God bless you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. Give me any feedback, and I hope it absolutely accelerates your business and your life. I'll talk to you soon. This is Christopher Dittemore. Talk to you later. Bye.